Right, shalom, and welcome to another show of GMS Collage, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Um, Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS who rule well, and also honor and salutations to you other brothers that are out there teaching the word in sincerity and truth. All right, so today's topic is going to be I guess I'll entitle it the rising racial tensions or something along the lines of that. Whatever the spirit moves me to name the show. But basically, we had this shooting that happened down in Dallas. Supposedly, what the news reports say. Can't always believe what you see on CNN. CNN to me is like watching Cartoon Network, but anyway, in the news there was a shooting, and it says that this man, a sniper, shot and killed 5 police officers, right? And what this is just it's an indicator of the times that we're in. Lately, over the last 2 or 3 years, we've had a lot of shootings or a lot of reports in the news of so-called black men, unarmed black men being killed by law enforcement. And now this is kind of like a boiling over of the spirits of so-called black people. And now this one black man who was finally fed up with all these things that were going on and with this unfair treatment of police officers on black people, that he decided to go and shoot these police officers. So it's an indicator of the times we're in now. Me personally, I believe that this is a false flag. But with that being said, even though it's a false flag, it's designed with a certain purpose. That false flag was designed with something in mind. Now, as we've been taught and as we've been going through over the years, the so-called white man, the Edomites, they have this Latin term called order ab chaos, and what they do is they create this chaos, and within the chaos, or on the other end of the chaos, they have the solution, the answer to the chaos. So even though this is I believe this is a false flag, it's still it's designed with a purpose, and that purpose is to get you niggas riled up, to get you so-called black people riled up, so that there can be riots in the streets, so that martial law can be declared. All right. So that's the reason for all of these, all this turmoil that's going on down in Dallas. I'm gonna go through a couple of things, and show that this is indeed a part of prophecy. That all this that's going on is a part of prophecy, and the Most High is showing His hand here. He's working. The Lord is working. He's been working, but this is one of those things where it's another prophecy that's coming to pass to let you know what times we're in. So I want to read this article here that you see on the screen, and I also want to go into a couple of scriptures to let you know that what's going on in Dallas and what the environment is throughout the whole country is a part of prophecy. All right, so I'm gonna start here with this article. This is from, I believe this site is The Guardian. It says here, as you see in the title, it says Dallas shooting, tensions over race, guns, and policing threaten to boil over. All right, so it says here in this heading here, it says Obama to return early from a European tour to a country simmering with tension and a racial divide that seems to be widening in the wake of more killings. Okay, so let me close this shit here. So the picture, like they always say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You got this I'll call him a black man. I ain't gonna call him a nigga. I don't know the dude, but you got this black man. He's tatted up. He got the fitted cap on, and he's standing in front of the police, and they're all in military garb. They got the shields out. They got the boots out. They got the helmets out. So this is a picture that's speaking 1,000 words. This is the so-called Negro finally standing up, and in this time, finally getting fed up with what's going on and standing up in this time. So it says here, this dude, man, he's crazy. So we have, it says, from a perch about 300 yards to the east of the Texas School Book Depository, where Lee Harvey Oswald took his fateful aim in 1963, another American sniper this weekend fired shots onto the streets of Dallas that have echoed around the United States. The assassination of 5 police officers by a black Army veteran who told authorities he wanted to kill white people threatens to snap tense relations between law enforcement and African Americans that have now been at breaking point for almost 2 years. And that's true, man. You even us being in the truth, it's like, damn, you know, you saw they letting loose on niggas, and then you kind of come to and you realize, like, look, this is the time we're in. It's all a part of the, you know, the big plan. So it says here, Dallas had a tragedy when President Kennedy was shot here in the 60s. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton said this week, and this is as close to that feeling, I think, as the city has had in decades. Right? So it says Barack Obama will abandon a European tour and travel to Dallas early next week before hosting a crisis summit at the White House between senior police officials and community group leaders. Aides described the talks as a new attempt to find common ground and tackle the persistent racial disparities in our criminal justice system. So here it is. There's been these disparities in the criminal justice system since the United States inception, since the inception of the criminal justice system, and now all of a sudden we see that there's a problem, you know. So it's all bullshit, man. There's been a problem with the criminal justice system. There's always been a disparity. When the justice system was created, you so-called Negroes were in slavery. So there's always been a disparity. So why be so surprised, right? So it says here, the president will return to lead a nation grappling with a racial divide wider than it has been for at least a generation, and struggling with the frequent boiling over of unrest that has been simmering since the fatal police shooting of an unarmed black 18-year-old in Ferguson, Missouri in the summer of 2014. After a week earlier marked by 2 more controversial killings of African Americans by police in Louisiana and Minnesota, demonstrations against the use of excessive force raged again this weekend in cities such as Baltimore, Atlanta, and Philadelphia. Thousands of protesters marched and blocked traffic on highways to their self-proclaimed new civil rights movement. So I'm gonna stop here, and I want to go to the scripture. So what's happening? What's happening? All of these different shootings on so-called unarmed black teens and unarmed black men in general by the so-called white people or by the police has finally roused Jake up, right? Now this is a part of prophecy, like I mentioned in the beginning. So I want to go here to Genesis 49th chapter, and I want to start at the 8th verse. This is Genesis 49:8. It says, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down to thee. So this is saying that Judah is going to be the head tribe. And it says, thy father's children shall bow down to thee. So as Judah moves, the rest of the nation is going to move. So once you see Judah out there in the streets, the tribe of Judah, raising up against the police and starting to have this civil unrest, so to speak, or this insurrection, so to speak, the other tribes are going to follow suit, because Judah is not the only tribe that's being persecuted by the so-called white man. So once Judah takes that leap and starts to rise up against the establishment, so to speak, then you're going to see the other tribes doing the same thing. So it says, Genesis 49:9, it says, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched down as a lion and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? So there was a time in history. So in the 60s and 70s, you had Judah, or the so-called Negro, or the so-called black man. He was in this state where They were standing up. You had the Black Panther Party. You had the Blackstone Rangers of Chicago. You had the so-called Nation of Islam or the Fruit of Islam, whatever they were called back then. And there was this militancy to so-called black people, where they were going out and they were standing up against their injustices, right? And then there was a period in time after that civil rights movement where Jake went to sleep, man. It was almost like Jake went from being militant and standing up against the establishment to gangbanging, partying, worried about going to the club and fucking bitches and getting cars and getting money, and it seems like the whole spirit changed. And when you read it here, it says, thou art gone. I'm sorry, let me read it from the top of that verse. It says, Judah is a lion's whelp, which is, if you look up that word whelp, matter of fact, I'll do it now. What the fuck is going on here? I don't know what the fuck this shit is. See if it still works. Alright, yeah, here we go. So if you look up the word whelp, the definition translate as a cub or whelp or young, right? So let's go back real quick. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this thing. It says Judah is a lion's whelp, which means a cub. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. So at one time they were at that prey, right? They were standing up against the so-called white man. They had the civil rights movement and all these different groups they had. And then it says, thou art gone up. So then there was a time where they stopped. So that civil rights movement ended, right? It says he stooped down, he couched down as a lion and as an old lion. So he instead of being that lion that stood up and was eating the so-called white man, so to speak, he crouched down as an old lion, almost like he gave up. And there was a period in time where Jake had given up, and it's asking a question here. It says, who shall rouse him up? Now the Heavenly Father got the spirit on these so-called white men, on the so-called white people, by the hand of the police officers killing you niggas. And now just that civil rights, that 70s, that 60s black power spirit is being raised back up in people. That now they're out in highways stopping traffic with the Black Lives Matter movement, like it said in that article. Now they're getting back to that black power mindset that they had back in the 60s and 70s. You see? So what's going to happen from all this rousing up? There's going to be a race war, man. And we've been saying this, the elders themselves, Elder Tahar, starting with him for 30 plus years, and so forth and so on all the way down the line. We've all been saying that there's going to be race riots in this country. And now we're on the precipice of it, man. We've been saying all this time that there's going to be a race war, even when it didn't seem like there would be. Even when there was a time where it didn't seem like this could happen. Now it's a norm, man. Now it's the norm for you to turn on the news and seeing a nigga getting shot. Now you got this. Now so-called you got this. Even black men, now they shooting back. So now it's the norm, man, and it's gonna become even more a norm in the coming months, man, in the coming days. This is look, man, we on the home stretch, man. We've been telling you that there's gonna be a race riot, and now you see it, man. You see it firsthand, right? So let me go here to you know what? I want to go to 2nd Ezra first. So I'll go to fucking pop. So I'll go to here it says this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 16, and it says, for there shall be sedition among men. Now when you look up that word sedition, for sake of time I won't do it now, but it basically what sedition is a rising up of government. I'm sorry, a rising up of the people against government. So this is what's happening now. This so-called sniper on the top of the roof shooting at police, that's a form of sedition. So it says there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. Who are the kings and princes? Your presidents, your congressmen, your senate, and all the way down to your police force, right? It says, and in the course of their action shall stand in their power. So they're gonna do things on their own. They're not gonna wait for the government to tell them whether or not they should have a peaceful protest. They're gonna fight on their own by their own power. You see. And what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen once you see that sedition? What's gonna happen? They're gonna lock the city down. It says it in the next verse. It says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." So with all these people, these so-called Negroes rising up against the police force, rising up against the government, what are they gonna have to do? They're gonna have to declare martial law. They're gonna lock these cities down, man, and they're gonna have checkpoints at different cities, and you're not even gonna be able to get into these cities, man. So it's all a part of prophecy, man. So I got one more scripture I want to read, and then I'll be finished. Lord's will. So it says Micah 5:7. It's Micah 5:7. It says, "And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people as a dew from the Lord, as the showers upon the grass, that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep." Now, when a young lion is amongst flocks of sheep, what is he doing? He's tearing shit up. So the remnant of Jacob, which is the tribe of Judah, them niggas, they getting ready to get in Esau's ass, man. And Esau's waiting. Esau is waiting. They're gonna fall into that trap, and these Edomites, they're gonna declare martial law, and they're gonna start locking people up, man. We said this. We were saying this, that Rex 84, how they're going to target so-called Negroes and so-called Latinos. That's gonna happen, man. These things are gonna happen. So it says, continuing on, it says, who if he go through, both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. Thine hand shall be lifted up upon thine adversaries, and all thine enemies shall be cut off. So this is the time we're in, man. We're in the time of race riots happening, man, and it's happening. It's happening right before your eyes. We said it was gonna happen, and now you see it, man. Now the Lord is giving you the evidence in your face, so you can see that it's happening, man. All right. So hopefully I made the point. Hopefully it was edifying, and it's an eye opener, man. I've been watching videos from different brothers, and the things that they've been saying have been building me up, man, and opening my eyes, and I hope that this has done the same thing. So with that being said, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai for allowing us to come out and teach this word, to take part in this word, to take part in this truth, to give us the eye salve to see the things that we've seen. I also want to give double honors to the elder apostles of GMS who rule well, who through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai have given us these tools to teach the word, and also honor and salutations to you other brothers that are sincere. And I know we always say that hallmark opening and closing, but I mean it, man. I mean it. For those of you who took it and you took it seriously, man, and you allowing the Lord to build you up, I give honor to you, man. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.